10-round wins, 3-round losses, and 2 map wins and 1 match win apiece. froyotech and Ascent have so far had identical records in the postseason, but that's all about to change. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cornpop. Welcome to ESEA Season 28 Upper Bracket Finals on teamfortress.tv. I will be your caster tonight alongside Row as my co-caster and Console on production. Row, this is a matchup we've seen 100 times. How do you feel about these two teams, though, tonight?
I'm on the fence, yo.
Really?
Like, I mean, I'm kind of biased because, unfortunately, I am a little tired, but I'm ready to take it all the way to the end if we have to, because I would not mind this going to 3 maps. It's hard to say though, because just before we got in here, we were kind of watching on froyotech, and they were doing some scrims on Snakewater, if I'm not mistaken. It went 3-3 before.
It was 3-3, then 4-3 before they ended it.
Right, so it was very close, but they started off with a 5-0 in their practice scrims, so I'm expecting a very similar outcome for these maps, given Goalie Wash is Froyo and Snakewater is Ascent.
Yeah, I think in terms of the first 2 maps, it's definitely one-sided for each team. froyotech, historically a very good Gully Wash team. Ascent, probably the most dominant Snakewater team we've ever seen in TF2. This has consistently been their map that they've taken over froyotech. Not always. froyotech have managed to best them, but it's at least always been their strongest showing against froyotech. So that'll be map 2. And then if we get to it, Viaduct will be our tiebreaker map, the map to determine who makes it into grand finals and who faces New Godflow in the lower bracket finals. Now, this is should be a good match. This is actually the exact same 3 maps we saw in last season's upper bracket finals. And in there, last season, it was a 5-4 on Gully Wash for froyotech, followed by another 5-4 on Snakewater, also for froyotech. So I would like to see a repeat like that, except maybe we go to a 3rd map, because Ascent could win the 2nd map, or something fun like that. But obviously, this is a very different Ascent roster from what we've seen. It's a slightly different froyotech roster as well, with Garbuglio subbing in for Eric.
That's a good segue, as I've already lost the page, so I'm just going to have to do it from memory. froyotech, running their roster tonight is Shade on Medic, standard. Blaze as a soldier with Garbuglio, his counterpart. Banny on Scout with his other friend who is not in the server and whose name escapes me.
Yomps.
Yomps, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Yomps will be the other scout with Habib on Pyro. That is not a joke. That is not a pre-game thing going on. He is 100% Pyro. You heard it here first. Who needs a demo to mid when you've got, you know, Habib the Pyro?
Well, it's a Pyro update, man. It buffs the class. It's now viable.
Yeah.
But according to recent scrim results and things, it looks like Garbuglio will actually be playing Scout and Yomps will be playing Soldier, which is a bit weird considering Garbuglio has never been known to play Scout as far as I'm aware. He's always been a Soldier main, and Yomps is definitely a top player on both classes. But regardless, I guess they want to keep Yomps comfortable on Soldier, so Garbuglio will be playing Scout for today. And over on Ascent, they've had a similar roster all season with one swap up. But the roster for tonight is going to be Nursey on Medic, Zaylor, aka Campy on Demoman, Marmaloo and Aim are their soldiers, and Yite and Phelps, aka Happy Cool, are their scouts. And the one change up there being Happy Cool coming in for High Five pretty late into the season, actually, after High Five decided he did not want to play anymore. So I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. Obviously, this Ascent roster is used to playing with each other, and I think in the couple weeks that he's joined the roster, Happy Cool has been playing quite well for Ascent. So I don't think there'll be any issues there. I think definitely all eyes are going to be on Garbuglio, because not only is he subbing in for this match, he will also be playing with froyotech at the I-63 LAN in Birmingham, United Kingdom at the end of this month, actually. So he's been practicing with the team. It's not like he isn't ready, but I believe he's playing Soldier over there, so it's a new rule, and it's not a class he's used to playing. So if I had to guess, we're not going to see Garbuglio really turn up tonight. I'd like to be surprised, just because it's a player who, you know, even if his team's not the underdog, he might be a little bit of an underdog. So I'd like to be surprised there, but I'm not too confident in the skills of Garbuglio on Scout yet.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
It's my man, purple shirt, man. I knew that guy back in silver UGC, and that's not a meme. That's just how old I am. Anyway, The uh, the other thing about it is, unfortunately, we will not be having Ascent Corsa because we didn't get enough likes on the Facebook page or the
Yeah.
post in the thread, whatever it is that people
Mm-hmm.
do to grab that
To
attention.
summon Corsa, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out. So unfortunately, there is not going to be a cure for Ascent.
No.
It's going to remain a sickness, really, not having Corsa on board.
And fun fact,
But
since
yeah,
since Corsa left, Ascent, froyotech have not lost a match. Those are numbers. In fact, in the past 365 days, froyotech have not lost a match. They've lost maps in BO3s, but they're on a 1 year plus winning streak. That includes ESEA and also the Rewind 2 LAN. They have not lost a game. So if you're new to the competitive TF2 scene, this team's pretty good, and they're definitely going to be the favorites to make it to grand finals tonight. Ascent, though, maybe their best chance in a long time to dethrone the current kings of TF2. With Eric gone, I wouldn't say Eric is the best player on froyotech, but he's
not the
certainly up
kingpin,
there.
no.
Yeah, but I think he is a big damage dealer, a big frag grabber for froyotech, and they are going to play poor without him. But, you know, that's not to say it's going to hurt them too much. Banny and Habib are still crazy good. Blaze is legendary. I mean, Shade is Shade, and they'll have no problems tonight. Oh, and
Not at
Yomps is
all.
good too. Jesus.
Yeah, it's just exactly. It's because he's not in the server that he's just forgotten.
Yeah, sorry.
It's 100% the only reason. It's not you, Yomps. It's the server not having your name for us to recall. But yeah, that's while we're on that subject. Hey, Yomps, if you're listening, we would be a great honor if you could join the server and just get this game underway. That would be like, wow. I couldn't even
Yeah,
describe how amazing that would feel.
it is playoffs, obviously, and the invite players, they want their practice, so they do not start earlier than regular match time, which means it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast is when we're starting, and obviously it's a bit late already, so it's 11:22 over there. So this is a best of 3. We could be going pretty late into the night. I'm not really too concerned with that. I'm more west than that, but a lot of the players are going to be East Coast in this match, and some of our production is as well. In fact, everybody on this cast tonight, except for me, is. So we're willing to pull it out for the long haul, but people got work in the morning, so they would like to start this as soon as we can, and the viewers too. You know, I mean, people want to get this underway, I'm sure, so they can watch it live.
Yeah, and for those of you on YouTube, what are you doing here? Like, how are you not here live on Team Fortress TV, the Twitch? But that's
Yeah.
okay. We forgive you in advance because that's
And
what happens.
if you're listening to us on YouTube, I gotta say, scroll down to the comments. There's probably someone who has posted the match start time, and just click on that, and poof, you're gone. You're watching the match now, and you're excited. Of course, I mean, I appreciate that you want to listen to me and Row talk about these two teams, but really, I mean, what more can you say? It's Ascent versus froyotech. Everybody should know the history between these two teams. It's long, it's detailed, and most of the time, froyotech has won. So, yeah, that's basically what we're looking at. According to Banny in the server, Yomps is having crashing issues, and he is working on it. So that's our status updates. Working on it.
Couldn't ask for more.
No, he's doing his best, you know.
He's a little champ. We're not gonna throw it to DJ Console amidst his enthusiasm, and we appreciate DJ Console, but we're toughing this out because there's no way it's not gonna take more than 60 seconds for us to potentially. You know what? Yeah, let's just. I'm running out of words in my mouth, so we're just gonna swap over to DJ Console very briefly, and then get right back into it as soon as he joins.
Make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting the first half of the first map in the upper bracket finals of ESEA Invite Season 28, froyotech versus Ascent. Winner moves on to the grand finals. Loser faces New God Flow in the lower bracket finals. We are here on Gully Wash. This is the first map. Teams are rolling out to mid row. Who are you watching for this one?
I normally like to follow my heart, but today I'm going to follow Campy. And I'm seeing right away getting some good damage onto Banny, who's just going to be backing out a little bit. Early bomb from Yomps is going to net him over to the other side of the map, but doesn't really control any area as a result. He does initiate, though. Gives some room for Garbuglio, who gets taken down immediately by Campy, and that's going to open up the door for what is going to be a attempt, but failed by the hand of Banny, who takes down Aim before he can back up behind. Campy still at this mid, while Nursey makes a great escape. Sailor, 1 HP. Gets into the face of Blaze before getting taken down, and there it is. Nursey all the way back at spawn, 67%. There's gonna be an Uber available to them, but we do see Freyo Shade sitting on that full Uber, not running crits to mid like he sometimes claims. He's keeping it legit this time.
Yeah, for the defense, I mean, Yite is coming up on Pyro, but I think that mid really exemplifies the froyotech we've seen. Garbuglio maybe a little bit weaker, but the rest of the team can more than make up for it. They're rotating in through lobby, now through river. Shade just buffing everybody up. They are no doubt wanting to go with this, or at least sending a couple players in. They don't have any advantage at the moment, but they are, regardless, getting a little bit aggressive. This player on beneath, Yomp's not going to do anything, though. I imagine he's just sacking to come back up on an off class, or maybe he was going for something sneaky, but regardless, didn't work out for froyotech. They're going to have to back off. Sit in lobby with this 100%. Doesn't look like Ascent are going to do anything too crazy. As I say that, though, Marmalou bombing in through river, sees too many players, takes some more spam. Just going to get out, play it a bit safe.
Yeah, what happened there actually was froyotech was in position to go for the push, and Yomps was just kind of like, I'm already on behind. froyotech was poised in the river, ready to go through as soon as they got any kind of cap time, any distraction at all that would like initiate. But Yomps unfortunately got caught out. So back to starting positions for froyotech.
So the ball's definitely in their court. I think to start things off, this is kind of reminiscent of what we would expect. Banny going down, a little bit interesting. They're going to be sending a Blaze in as well. Blaze gets nothing at all. Nursey was all the way back in spawn, and none of the players died. So that was a two-man sack from froyotech, kind of staggered. I think it would have worked a little bit better if Banny had died so early. But that's kind of the way she goes sometimes. Now Ascent are going to be able to lead a little bit more ground off of this than they otherwise would be off of a one-man sack. You can see they push up top, and they've got to be careful if they try to exchange here, and Aim's very low. Happy Cool as well does get killed, and there goes the other heal target. Aim killed by Garbuglio, got both of those frags, and suddenly Ascent have overextended and put themselves in a really bad position.
Yeah, Yomps dealing so much damage to defend there. He's going to be initiating right now on the face of Marmalou, who gets whittled all the way back into the oblivion. And so much cap time pulled out from Mr. Garbuglio underneath the point. Comes back in, tries to get a little bit of damage onto Yite. The Ubers have finished flashing. Nursey doing her best jukes. Going to have to surf away onto this little balcony. Still giving the best she got. Not enough, and the point does manage to get finished off with a little bit of help of some Habib magic. 1-0 to froyotech.
You know, the start of that push, I thought, you know, this is not going well for froyotech. They've lost a couple of players already in the supercharge, and Nursey, she managed to pop, and then I realized that Shade hadn't even popped yet, so then they popped their Ubercharge, and of course, it was just all over after that. Good job to Shade being able to hold it on for so long. This second mid-fight obviously lasting went very well for froyotech, despite not getting the first frag. Aim thrown right back to his own choke. Start of this before he can get any more aggression down. So far, nobody crossing the point just yet. Garbuglio attempting it. Yomps jumping up as well, skipping across, going for Aim, throws him up in the air, and Aim will hit the air shot, taking him down. There goes Garbuglio and Banny at the exact same time. 3 left alive for froyotech. Blaze bombs in and kills himself alongside Marmalou. And that leaves just Habib and Shade running all the way back to their last point. It's going to be a win for Ascent.
Very, very strong stuff. Aim getting the better end of some of those exchanges as well. Just overall, I didn't really see anything particularly groundbreaking from Ascent. They just had the better opportunities, and they took advantage of it in a much better fashion. Right now, froyotech not going to be relenting on this point. The cap does manage to go off, though, so now there's a threat of a back cap, but froyotech are not going to be that easy to falter. And right away, Yomps with a nice little bomb knocks up Aim and hits him down. We do see a little bit of an Uber exchange going on At the meanwhile, Marmaloo going all the way to last. Can he make it
Surely
happen?
not.
Oh,
Surely
he's gonna
not.
be doing it against Shade. Oh, Shade! Takes one pickaxe to the face. Can he take a second? Does finally go down, but all that cat time is huge for the rest of Ascent because now they just kind of need to maybe put up a little bit of pressure any way they like. froyotech are on full defense mode. Blaze sitting on the point, building up. Habib setting up stickies all over these shutters. We're gonna be seeing an aggressive not Uber, but river push from Ascent, maybe trying to find an opportunity before this decap goes on.
Yeah, despite how silly that might have looked on the back having Soldier from Ascent, it actually bought them a lot of time and turned a potentially disastrous situation for Ascent into one where they're still holding second. Now Marmaloo has respawned on Spy, and he's going to be going for it. But based on Garbuglio's movement, I feel like they know where he's at. He's already taken a bit of splash damage from a rocket, but I don't think they actually caught it out. Blaze did some damage to him, but he wasn't seen with it. So he's still going to have some opportunities. His team creating some distractions for him. Here he comes in for the pick. He's going to get Banny, but not a whole lot else. Habib pipes him down, and with that one pick, not a lot that Ascent can really do with Scout, not crucial for holding. So with that, Ascent aren't going to be able to get anything off of it, and they're going to have to sit back in the lobby and wait for Marmaloo to spawn and try something else.
It was very entertaining. Just see how adamant Garbuglio was about spy checking, and then all of a sudden there's a fully decloaked spy running towards Banny. And no pressure whatsoever. We are now in the hands of Ascent with trying to decide how they want to approach this. They've got options. Marmaloo can definitely take a buff, take it down through this river. He's poised for it. Gonna miss the skip jump, but he's gonna follow it up with a very poorly timed follow-up jump. Yite is managing to get a lot of room here and big damage onto Garbuglio. Almost took him down, but unfortunately there was just too much pressure coming out from froyotech, and now Blaze also going forward very aggressively into the face of some players. Does manage to get a lot of damage onto Happy Cool, and the rest of the follow-up is going to be pulling off an Uber from Yomps. No, excuse me, I thought I saw an Uber flash, but it was only defensively from Ascent, and now Shade with full Uber. froyotech are looking really good to carry this momentum.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love that pop-out from Nursey. I guess it was mostly to save her life, but it was still a pretty early Uber charge pop. Maybe she saved a couple of players with it, but they lost the point anyways, so now they're going to be facing a full Uber charge coming into them on this middle point, and they're likely going to have to give it up because of it. Will Marmaloo be able to get the force? That's the question. He's hiding, called out by Banny, though, and taken down by Yomp with the rocket. Banny goes down, trading for aim, but that's really not a whole lot going on there. With 3 down on the side of Ascent, there's no way they're going to force that Uber charge off, and they're likely going to have to run all the way back to last. There they go. Happy Cool not even able to get into the shutter door before getting taken out. Gets a kill on the Yomp something. Might slow down froyotech a little bit, and with Thirsty 80%, they should be able to build this back up, but it's been coast to coast, and now froyotech are in a position to get their second round.
Yeah, they should know that right now there is a player in forward spawn. If they were checking the spawns, they could have seen it happen. But Marm has been very careful. He's been waiting it out. Might have to time this incredibly well or coordinate with the rest of his team because he's definitely got a chance here. There goes the debt, so he knows he's safe. But Yomps on heavy could prove to be a difficult challenge for Marmaloo as he does make it through the shutter. Can he time this just right?
Yeah, he's still waiting. He's waiting for comms from his team, learn where the enemy is at. He might know that they're all in river. He might be a little bit too late. froyotech, they've already gotten Yomps down in water underneath, and I think Ascent were able to spot that. Blaze is going to bomb in now right on top of all the players. Doesn't really get much, but aim does get det. Marmaloo in the back lines took a little bit of damage, but didn't get any kills with it. Yite pistols down Habib. Marmaloo finally cleaned up as Banny just peeks in that shutter. Yomp eating a sandwich down beneath the point. Nobody's checking for him. There's actually a scout down there. Yite not able to do anything as he loses the 1v1 to Garbuglio with that pistol. Here comes the heavy now, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Shade now running in with the scout of Banny. Garbuglio on the point as well, but he needs to stop him finally. Nursey pops that Uber charge off. A lot of time on point here. Shade pop as well? No, Shade didn't even pop. They just got the force and got out of there. So despite the heavy going down, Garbuglio is going to fall as well. froyotech still in a decent position with 100% Uber charge.
Yeah, now it's just a numbers game, and this is Ascent's only opportunity to do anything, and they decide it's better to just set up for the defense because we do not have any openings that we can work with. Not with the demo still in tow. Got stickies all over the lobby. Marm peeks out a little bit in river, but sees he can't get much more because Blaze also has his eye on that same river. So it's going to have to be all to Yite here. And a little bit of combo with Happy Cool, taking some of the post-Uber damage. So right now, here it comes, right through the shutter.
They pop the Uber charge off. They're forcing everybody back into spawn. This leaves the point wide open. There are some sticks on it, and here comes Aim to try to block it even more. Marmalou and Aim both get a kill on a soldier and a scout. There goes Garbuglio as well. It's a disaster for froyotech. Have to back off with just one soldier, one demo, and one medic. Oh, and watch out for Yite. He's onto Habib. Very well positioned himself, but he's kind of losing this damage battle, and now he's going to fight Yomps in the big door. That's not going to work out for him. Yomps, will he be able to escape with the escape plan? Yes, he will. Over in Choke. Aim gets blown back to the point, but regardless, Ascent will manage to push out with 100% Uber.
Very strong defense from Ascent, showing that they're not going to be rolling over to anything froyotech has. And now we're seeing through this choke point, a little bit of aggression from Yomps. He's going to get caught out here if he's not careful, but the follow-up from Blaze is going to be able to help juggle some players a little bit. Does manage to make the escape, and so do a lot of other players. froyotech played that immaculately. They got the force they wanted, and they're completely out. No deaths to speak of. froyotech are going to be coming back in just as hard, but they're going to be facing a very similar problem if Ascent can get this force.
Yeah, you never want to have to pop that Uber charge off, but pop it, don't drop it, as the saying goes. So, you know, they popped it off. That's what they had to do. They've managed to get onto the point now, and froyotech have dropped down through the choke. Here they come, forcing Yite out through the big door. You can see 3 players down on the ground, 2 pushing through big door. Habib still back at the choke. Blaze does go down to Marmalou. Managed to kill him over by the red team's big door, and now they pop the Uber charge off, running in through choke. Nursey goes down to a pipe extremely early. That's not good. Aim has now dropped down though, and he's in a position to maybe catch out Shades, not missing it, or not hitting any of these rockets. Marmalou's on top of him though, and he'll get the follow-up kill on to the medic. 3 Ascent players left alive against 3 froyotech players. Froyo have capped this middle point, and Ascent are still sitting on this second. They might want to exchange some damage here, but Ascent look content to back off. As I say that, Zaylor takes down Yomps with a sticky trap, and froyotech are forced to take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, slowing things down. That's exactly what Ascent needs right now to get back into the swing of things. We're still 1-0 in this first half. Blaze puts in a little bit of pressure into the big doors. The rest of Ascent is trying to make something happen here. Nice fadeaway pipe picks up Yite. That's not going to be very good whatsoever. Nice follow from Blaze. Can't quite grab a frag, but Garbuglio doing a good amount of work here to pick up Marmalou. Very strong for froyotech now. They're going to be coming in, and Ascent have completely backed off. They have no ground whatsoever to work with. And it's looking like a reset after all that back and forth. We're once again back on the last push with even Ubers.
Some really questionable decision making from the Ascent players there. Marmalou and Yite basically just wandered into the middle point alone. They did have an opening, and they did have a lot of free space in front of them, but they had no team to back them up, and froyotech's not going to fall to something silly like that. So they lost 2, and it's the Chris Creep play from froyotech. It is the pop from Nursey in response, and they're going to get nothing with it. A classic Habib crits, and they're forced to back off. There's some crit stickies still in the river here. They got to watch out for those, but more or less, Ascent are happy with that trade. Now, what froyotech have to take advantage of here is their faster building with that crit creep. They sent Blaze down underneath the point. Marmalou knows he's down there, going to try to check for him, try to force him out, deal some damage to him, but he's losing that fight, has to jump all the way back to his medic. Yeah, he's got into the lobby as well now, going to be able to take down Yomps. A little bit of time on point, not doing anything. Level 1 Sentry Gun takes down Blaze, and that's no more soldiers on the side of froyotech. They've gotten a little bit too aggressive, still only 70% on this Crit Creek. Aim goes down to Banny though, and there's a lot of fighting. Very hectic happening here in the lobby area. They're going to get Garbuglio and Habib. It's only Banny and Shade. 85% of that crits is not going to build fast enough, and they're going to give up the second point after some scrappy fighting.
But they really want to commit to this. Thankfully, they're going to wait for their respawns. Soldiers are going to be taking this into the face of Ascent, but they're going to be finding themselves in the face of an Uber. Oh no, but they're taking the offensive, and now the crits have been popped off. Nursey's waiting very patiently behind cover. Nothing can happen now. It's just some spam rockets trying to get some stragglers. Nothing doing. So now, froyotech kind of caught with their pants down, not really knowing what to do, as Ascent are just playing the game they want to play in response to this. And now they're going through the drop down, wrapping through really quick, trying to find any escape routes from any of these players. We do see a lot of pressure on Nursey, going to get the force, but both soldiers going down is very good for Ascent. They can take this offensive very quickly and quickly grab whatever ground they can in the second point.
Yeah, they gotta watch out for Shade's crits. He's already at 65%. That builds very, very quickly. But again, as you said, if they go fast, they're gonna be able to cut them off here. Coming in now on all the froyotech combo. Shade solo, gonna get taken down there as shot down by Happy Cool. Yite gets another one on to Banny, and this is complete disaster for froyotech. Habib up in the air is gonna fall. Happy Cool gets the kill on him, and it's just Blaze left alive. Nursey, however, dies to Yomps. right before he goes down, and that's gonna just be the cherry on top for froyotech. Will it matter though? Ascent are already running to last. There's 3 froyotech spawns just coming up. Blaze back at last as well. Ascent, I don't think they got here in time. Garbuglio's on heavy. Shade and Vanny both get a frag apiece, and Ascent's dreams are crushed.
Yeah, that was the ideal spawn wave. It was really good timing for froyotech to manage to get those spawns just in time. Very, very tight there. Ascent, they did everything they could as far as rushing it. They got the frag they wanted during the mid, and those spawn waves were definitely in time with getting second and then rushing last. So nothing to do in there. froyotech now setting up for another Kritzkrieg play here. 82%. It's gonna be very close because Ascent knows they're dealing with a Kritzkrieg, but they're only at 80% right now. They gotta wonder where it's coming from. It's coming all the way from the big door. Takes the first shot against Yite. Picks it up as well. Aim not able to get away from the sky, and now Ascent has Uber, but no numbers. And this is what froyotech wants.
Yeah, 2 kills is not the worst result. I mean, the best Kritzkrieg you've seen them pull out so far. I mean, those first 2 are pretty bad. But with that, Ascent are at 100%. froyotech really can't push off of that because they know that Nursey has that Uber charge. So all they have to do is wait for their spawns and push in with his Uber. And of course, this Kritzkrieg just builds so quickly. So Shade's already back up to 60%. We'll see how that ends up playing into this fight. froyotech cannot get aggressive until Shade gets this build up to 100. But Ascent are really taking their time. They looked at choke. Now they're over a big door. Blaze is going to be right here to meet them, try to get the force out of Nursey. She's going to pop immediately. There's a couple of soldiers on top of her and her team up in the air. Aim's going to be able to take down Yomps. Over on the ground, Blaze will also die, but all of the rest of froyotech have gotten out, and they're just wrapping around through big door. They're not done yet. Here comes the Kritzkrieg immediately. They're not managing to find anything. A little bit of damage onto Marley, but I don't even think that was the crits. I think that was just Vanny shooting some shots into him. Now Yite about to come in for the flank, and he's going to back up towards his team now. froyotech really didn't get anything they were looking for. I don't like that Shade is continuing to play this Kritzkrieg. At this point, he needs to get off of it.
Yeah, Ascent knows how to play the angles just right. Once they know, hey, Med's this way, the Kritzkrieg is on this side, they know exactly where to sit themselves. And then Habib just needs to be like, oh, where do I go? Where do I shoot? And he can only see 1 or 2 players. He's going to shoot only where he can see the players. So Ascent very carefully planning their positioning to counter these Kritzkriegs, and it's working out very much in their favor. Shade, 85% ready now. But Ascent has their Uber, and they're going to be pushing in right away through this door. They got to be careful not to get overzealous about how they push. They know that there's a Kritzkrieg, but they still have to be careful about entering these chokeways. And thankfully, they have cleared the way. The crits might be ready to be popped by Shade. They know they can't go to last and hold it, but they're deciding on it. They guess just can't do it. And now Armalu actually managed to find a chance to waddle himself all the way through lower lobby. Does not manage to get very far, though, because he calls out the rest of the team. And now with the full Uber in tow, Ascent are looking to take this last.
That was a great push in the second. Slow and steady. You take your time. You don't give froyotech any opportunity to find a weakness. Very well played by them. Now they're facing the last push against a Kritzkrieg. This gun being built up. Here they go. Popping out their Ubercharge. Invincible for just a few seconds. Shade gonna hold on to this crits as long as he can. Does Ubercharge phase. They lose the heavy. They lose the gun as well. They're gonna get Blaze, who's being healed. Now here comes the crits. Can froyotech clean up enough players in this? No. Shade gonna go down immediately. And it's just Habib left alive to them, man. There's no way he can hold on to this. And Ascent will tie up the game. It's 1-1.
Ascent making a mark right here and right now. Shade, you cannot use crits. And so that's going to be a sting because that was 100% Shade's fault. I mean, maybe in the timing it was okay, but like holding on to it was just the roughest thing they could do.
Why is Shade still running the Kritzkrieg? I don't understand this.
And that's even better for Ascent because they want Shade to be cocky enough to be stuck on it and say, I can make it work. And instead, Aim's going to get airshot there a little bit there by Blaze. Cleaned up by Garbuglio, but Campy quickly retaliating with an airshot of his own. We do see a little bit of pressure from Marmalu, but it gets cleaned up immediately in the choke point, and Ascent are all the way out now. Nothing doing, and this Kritzkrieg is going to probably catch them off guard.
Well, they're coming into the second point, 85% on the crits now, and Yomps getting pretty aggressive up top, and he will get the kill onto Zayler. Trades his life, but that's no more demo man on the side of Ascent, and well, we're still at the situation where, okay, they had a good mid. I'm not gonna deny that. Pushing into second, very well played. But none of that was because of the crits. And now they're not able to push in last. They're not able to take an even trade at all. In fact, if Ascent have the knowledge that Shade is on Kritzkrieg, they can even just push into second if they really want to get aggressive with this. Because this should be a fight that they will win.
Yeah, it could be, but unfortunately they have no reason to doubt it, no reason to suspect whatsoever. Maybe someone saw yellow flakes in the beam during the mid, but it's hard to say. And so now we're seeing if Habib can navigate this last as best as possible. Usually it's the balcony they want to go with. They have a little bit of a help from Yomps here. He's going to be walking in as the espionage man. He's called out some positions. Habib is trying to keep some pressure on the door, trying to make sure there's no doubt whatsoever of what's going on. Keep it normal and steady. Yep, we're totally having Uber here, guys. And now Yomps, what he's going to do, he's going to get some cap time going. They're going to pop the crits on anyone coming in, and it's going to be through River. But Yite is in behind, and if they don't deal with this right away, it's going to be tricky to deal with. Right now, a bomb comes in from Froyo. He does not manage to pick anyone up, and now the cap time has gone off very nicely for Yite. Does probably call out the crits creek, and now Ascent have no fear. They have the numbers.
All they gotta watch out for is a back half in this situation. You see Bandy's in the situation, both the Uber charge and the crits get popped off, so nobody's dying from this. Habib getting caught off in choke. He's gonna get taken out. Now still charging forward with Happy Cool. Doesn't want to get too aggressive there. Again, still worried about those back halves, but it looks like Ascent will be able to hold on, capture the second point. Garbuglia getting a little bit aggressive, but not gonna die for it. Ascent will cap this second point off. And a very well executed push into second. froyotech, they're gonna have that crit set though.
See what happens though, because if enough pressure comes out from Happy Cool and the rest of the crew, AIM is actually initiating too. Gonna be jumping up and getting some pressure on Shade, who's gonna get juggled into the corner, takes a ton of damage, just getting called out. Someone else follows up. Marmalou with a nice fadeaway shot picks it up, but they will use Mercy in the process. Ascent though sitting on top of a huge number stat, and oh, nice little mini air sticky. I don't know if you could call that impressive, but you know, Bandy tried to jump away and Zaylor did not let him get away.
Yeah, that was some nice, a little bit risky aggression from Ascent, but they saw their openings and they took it, managed to win the DM fights, so they're the ones in control of the middle point at the moment. It's that ability to take advantage of those small advantages that really separates the top teams from the just okay teams and invites, and well done to Ascent to be able to capitalize off of that. Now, Shade, what gun is he running? That's the question on my mind, and it's an Uber charge, so finally we're done with the crit shenanigans. Thank God for that. It was not working for froyotech. They're going to be playing just a regular game now, and things might slow down because of it.
Yeah. What's interesting about that last exchange is, assuming something happened, like maybe, let's just say there was an Uber exchange, and somehow Ascent got the better of it, pushing out. And Shade didn't have the Uber, of course, because he used it in the second fight. What happened there was AIM was really the playmaker there. He got underneath through the drop down and was able to get all the pressure he could onto Shade, who just got hit with such great rockets from AIM that the follow-up from Marmalou was brain dead easy. So overall, that was really what Ascent had in their favor, and it's those kind of openings that froyotech are usually not susceptible to. You know, they're usually having someone check drop down, keeping on top of it, but instead we're seeing Ascent try to get Marmalou in, does not net any kills. And I don't think it's going to be too much of an opening for froyotech, especially after they pick up Banny. Thanks to Campy picking up Banny, who drops a question mark on top of it all.
Yeah, no, this is great, smart, kind of careful play from Ascent. They don't got to do anything too risky right now. They're tied 1-1 pretty far into the second half, only a little over 7 minutes remaining. So, you know, if they tie after the first half of this first map, they're totally fine with that. This is not a map they're expecting to win. It's froyotech's map pick. It's historically a very good froyotech map. So, you know, they don't need to get aggressive. They don't feel like they need to win this first half. If they tie the first half, they're willing to play through that second half and just see how it goes. So, I like they're not doing anything too risky. They went for the Marmalou bomb, didn't work. Now they've gone for the Yite into lobby play. And we'll see if this one is a little bit more successful. He is going to be in a 1v1 with Banny, loses the first shot, gets a little bit of chip damage, but Banny gets the pack, and he's dealing a lot of damage to Yite. Yite surely not going to last too much longer, pistoled down by the bandman. Meanwhile, in through drop down is Blaze, but he's just going back up.
Oh, but Yomps quickly back in and completely checked. And despite that, he managed to clip his head on the ceiling, going for the jump. So maybe you should stick to Scout if you're having a little trouble jumping as Soldier.
Yeah, that was a bit disappointing, especially because Ascent had no idea that he was going for that play. He totally caught them off guard, but a little bit of mechanical mistakes, and he's not going to be able to get that force out of Nursey. So because of that, it's still 1-for-1. Ascent getting pretty aggressive here in the choke, but I mean, unless they might want to just jump in AIM, they're just looking. They can see what they get. They don't like what they see. They don't have to commit to it. You know, standard TF2 stalemate type situations. Again, the round timer getting, well, the round timer longer than the half timer, so they could just stalemate it out at this point. But Marmalade.
Oh man, that was like a dance with death, and Habib, he's gonna overstep his bounds at any moment. They got to do something about keeping the pressure on from Habib to peek over just a little bit too much, but he knows his limit. He knows that line. He sees it. But what's really interesting about this is no one from Froyo is going to do anything about it. And there it is! Right into the face of Shade. Gets the force, too. He missed the first rocket, but it was enough to pressure Shade once he got trickled up. And so now froyotech are looking desperate to make something happen. They got to make some plays while this Ascent push comes through.
They just look so sloppy. I mean, great job to Marmalou to be able to find that entryway and force Shade. But that's not something that you often see froyotech let happen. Froyotech are usually so strict on what they allow, and that's usually not it. Now they're trying to force Nursey as she comes in, but Ascent are taking this smart. They're throwing in their scouts first. Shade's gonna get the kill onto aim, but I don't think it's gonna matter too badly. It's Shade going down. Zayla gets a pipe onto Shade. These are the mistakes I'm talking about. Now Nursey will drop as well. Habib gets the follow-up frag onto the enemy team's medic, but this is still going heavily in favor of Ascent. They're gonna be capping the second point off. Happy Cool already running down to last. Now Blaze is there to challenge him, and he's not gonna be able to let the scout player get on the last point. But it's even Uber charges. Ascent have managed to scrappily take this middle second point.
It's an unfortunate drop. They're not the end of the world. There's still an advantage. Still things happening for the team. Vanny overstepping his bounds. Gonna get caught out here, very likely. Also a follow-up onto Yomps. 2 frags is definitely a good trade. That's more than enough because the less the numbers get, the less important the one-man advantage becomes. Thankfully, though, Habib does pick up a follow-up kill onto Marmalou. 5-4 is much easier. Like a 3 versus 2 is easy to push. A 4 versus 3 is okay to push. A 5 versus 4 is definitely pushable. But a 6v5 is nothing. So it's like the less players that are alive, the more likely there is a chance to be pushing.
Right.
One-man advantage. But unfortunately, they couldn't get past Habib's traps, and he secures froyotech a little bit of, you know, defense to make sure they don't immediately lose to a 5-4 push.
Yeah, and it was smart by Habib. He got pretty aggressive to be able to get that kill and even out the numbers before Ascent were pushing, because they definitely wanted to push that. Now he's got a bit of a sticky trap here in lobby, and actually, not going to det on anybody just as aim walks through it, so no more threat on that. Gate is on Sniper, though, and this is the play that Ascent are going to be going with. Again, they can kind of take their time. About 3 minutes left in the round, so they don't got to go just yet. He's got some time to take some shots. Misses that first one, and they're going to know for sure there's a sniper. But Yite will rotate over to River.
He's got on that sentry gun. Not quite. Oh, he does, actually. The sideline just barely picks up on it, and Yite gets scooped out of that. Couldn't quite escape. And aim will pick up the sentry gun frag, but that's not going to be making that much of a difference because right now Ascent are in a unique position to trying to do something here. Vanny peeks his head way too aggressively and gets out. Didn't get punished that time, and that's unfortunate because he did get punished earlier for overextending. And now Ascent are getting Marmalou into position. He is going to be going for the bomb here.
Here we go. Marmalou not getting anything shut down by Banny. Still fighting here in this second point. I mean, froyotech are getting pretty aggressive into this lobby. Yike, very little HP. Surely he goes down here, jumping over those rockets, but eventually Banny will find the kill onto him, and it's a lot of hectic stuff. 2 players down, and Ascent means this is very dangerous. Jumping in is Blaze. The route change is going down now. Nobody aiming for the back cap just yet, but Yomps getting very, very low. Will be shot out of the air by Happy Cool. Now froyotech need to be careful. This is not a winnable fight for them. They have to back off without losing too many players, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to be safe and sound, retreating. Nothing happening off of that fight.
Yep, that's the mark of a goalie wash last hold. Even if you're the one pushing out or getting pushed into, all these things just kind of happen, you know. Banny, or excuse me, Garbuglio in a position of trying to reflect some players, but Ascent are nowhere to be found on the river side. It's really most of them just kind of peeking their way around. I'm really interested in seeing what kind of coordination can come out, some off classes perhaps, because the 6v6, the even nut Ubers, it's not a favorable exchange. Yite gonna be starting things off with going through water. I'm pretty sure someone saw it, but actually with no one coming into it, the pressure was on. Yite could have started the cap there, but he didn't, and he's gonna be coming in a little bit later possibly backing out even. Both Ubers got exchanged instantly. Ascent tried to maybe take that as a, hey, maybe we have a 10% advantage, we can get Mercy. But nothing happening there. Yite missed his opportunity to get a little bit of cap time, but that's not the worst thing in the world. They can just reset, do this all over again.
Time
Aim
ticking
though.
down. Aim going down is not what you want to see. A little over 30 seconds left to go in this round. Ascent needs to make it happen now or never. They're going to be able to, well, Aim's not going to be able to get back to this point in time. They're going to have to push 5v6. It's not favorable. Here comes Happy Cool underneath the point. He's being cut out by Blaze. The Heavy's going to drop down as well. Garbuglio trying to spam some damage down with this flamethrower. It's a lot of frags. Very hectic. Only Zaylor and Aim left alive. Zaylor needs to cause some sort of distraction, get some damage down onto the medic. He's focusing. There's 3 players around him. Not a chance. Aim on Spy. Is he going to be able to make it? There's no way. There's no way. No.
That's the end of the first half. Very close aggression. Ascent was in control for a lot of it, but froyotech knew they had to play the defense game. All they had to do was hold out long enough for that to go to a 1-1. They do not want to go into the second half on a 2-1. That deficit, that is. So, first half goes down. I'm reloading my stats page, and I'm seeing 3 dots, which is an ellipsis, which leads to, finally, our top damager, Campy.
That's a little bit surprising to me, actually. I mean, Campy, a good demo man, certainly, but not a super experienced demo man. One of those players that Ascent picked up at the start of the season had big shoes to fill in Podolsky. And I said this last time we watched him too, but he has filled them quite well. And good on him for being able to top damage the server with a strong 307. Habib, obviously not far behind, 301. A good scoreline for him as well. Currently leads the league in damage per minute. Him and Banny, the only players above an average of 300 damage per minute, excluding the players who did not play out the full season. So, well done to the demo man of both teams. And at a 1-1, that's not what most people were expecting at the end of this first half. I think most people were predicting froyotech to win this a little more heavily. I'm looking at Garbuglio's stats, and 115 damage per minute. That's what I was worried about. He's not filling Eric's shoes.
And who could really? I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I think Yomps could, frankly, but they wanna run with the Yomps, keeping him in form, you know, for whatever it is that he's gonna be playing in the future. And I gotta disagree with that. I think right now, froyotech normally has this great pep talk. They fix their mistakes. They say this is what went wrong at mid. Here's what we're gonna do, and then done. But I think this might be the first time where we don't see it in the, you know, in the set right now. Garbuglio is still on scout and Yomps is on soldier. But I would not be surprised if froyotech busted out the hey Garbuglio, go back on soldier real quick, and we'll run Yomps on scout. I'm expecting that potentially in these next few mids.
Well, we'll get to see. It's the second half now in the first map of the upper bracket finals of ESEA Invite Season 28. froyotech versus Ascent. Scores are tied 1-1. This was froyotech's map pick. Certainly one that they were expected to win. And we'll see who comes out on top after this first mid-fight. We've only seen 2 so far, so not a lot to draw on, but it's a lot of aggression from the Ascent soldiers, not finding a whole lot. They get the demo man, but losing 3 now from it. They're trading a lot of players back and forth, but that leaves just Zaylor and Nursey left alive, forced a retreat. Not a good mid.
It's only, okay, I can break down that mid. It was so easy because it made sense. Campy got locked into the banana. froyotech scouts were able to keep the pressure up at the choke, and there was nothing that Ascent could do because they were just all stuck in their banana. So when they tried to get out, froyotech did what they do best, and they farmed frags. Thankfully though, Nursey did get out during that exchange. Someone gave their life to pressure it, keep it up enough for the Nursey escape, and now we're looking at a last hold with full Uber instead of a straight up roll.
Yeah, every time, actually, medics have gotten out, so good play to both Nursey and Shade to be able to stay alive on all of these mid-fights. Now, though, not a great position for Ascent, but one they've come back from before, sitting on this last point. They don't have any off classes right now, which is a little unusual, but I guess they don't feel too threatened by a push from froyotech. Garbuglio going in below, Blaze dying somewhere in lobby. Here's some point time, Marmalou challenging, and he actually loses that pretty handily. Garbuglio wins it and gets a lot of cap time, but still isn't able to cap it off. No sneaky back caps for froyotech, and with that, they're 3 players down. Ascent are going to be able to get aggressive off of this. Yite not able to find anything in the back lines.
Does call out the Kritzkrieg in the hand of Shade. And so now Ascent's like, oh, what's that? Shade's using Kritzkrieg? In this match, where we've clearly shown we can defeat him? Surely we can't freak this up. I'm minding my P's and Q's here. But here comes the Kritzkrieg right away. They're charged up. Blaze going to be running in underneath. They got to sack players to the point. This is exactly what froyotech want. They want players to be forced to the point. But they're not going to be playing that game. They're going to make sure that they prevent any of this shenanigans. And he backs up begrudgingly. We'll see how they reenact. But Ascent, they need to take this as an opportunity to just push out. Unless somehow Yite did not call out there was a Kritzkrieg in play.
Surely.
That's what it feels like right now.
I mean, you're right. It does seem like Ascent aren't playing like they know there's Kritzkrieg. And, I mean, if I was them, I wouldn't expect a Kritzkrieg, just because froyotech, I think the reason that they're down 1-1 right now is because of the crits, but here they go, popping it off. Nursey pops Uber charge, and again, the crits gets absolutely nothing. They're going to make it an even trade, 1-for-1, but obviously the advantage here of Kritzkrieg is froyotech will now be able to build that up a lot faster than Ascent. We'll see how good Nursey's building ends up being, but they should get it before Ascent get their Uber charge. Maybe they can make something happen with that. Marmalou gets the kill onto Garbuglio down below. And with Yomps down there as well, this is a little bit risky for froyotech. If they have a couple of players die here and Ascent don't lose too many in the process, this could be push-out opportunity, but Yomps now going to be walking towards that point in a 1v1 with Marmalou back behind underneath that point. Yomps will win it with the finish off onto Marmalou, so he's still alive back down there. And he gets another one with the shotgun onto Yite. froyotech have a player advantage at this point in time, and they're getting all the kills that they need to. They don't even need the Kritzkrieg, and they're going to get on that point. Habib caps off, and froyotech manages to take the lead.
That was the greatest tragedy of Marmalou's life. He timed it so unfortunately. It was the unluckiest timing of all time. He just walked underneath trying to look out for Yomps, and Yomps was just sneaking around and was able to get the jump on Marmalou, who was expecting someone a little bit lower, and that cost him his life. froyotech took that, grinded into momentum, and now at this next mid, big plays coming out, some damage onto Shade. He's going to try and wiggle his way out. He does manage to do it, and the rest of froyotech also picked up a lot of frags of their own. We're hitting a pause, and Campy might not be able to make this escape.
Oh, wasn't a long
Quick
pause.
Ooh.
Well, hopefully this one is also as short as the first one. Yes, it was. Habib just forcing Zayler out. Will Zayler make it? He's still here to challenge Habib. He wants this. He knows he's only one pipe away, but won't get it. Habib with the stickies takes down Campy, and that's going to be a pretty dominant mid from froyotech. The first one where the defending, or where one of the medics has died. Nursey going down, and this is 100% ad for froyotech. Row, they look very likely to make this a 3-1 game.
Oh, very easily, but you got to keep in mind, they're using the Kritzkrieg. Definitely favorable if you're not dealing with Nuber, but we're talking about Habib here. He's very notorious for making or breaking a crits, and we'll find out what it'll be today. First crit, hits aim, follow-ups trying to get onto Happy Cool. No more spam coming through. It's just the one frag. Definitely more than enough to kind of open up the door, but it's not really looking favorable. They are going to get some initiation here from Yomps. Gets a little bit of damage onto the scouts. Going to get cleaned up by Garbuglio and Banny, who are on the point. Good damage comes out, but it's not enough. The cap goes to Froyo.
Yeah, great job playing the point there in the scouts of froyotech. Even Garbuglio really putting in the work on that last push, getting the frags that were super necessary to secure that for froyotech. So they're going to take it 3-1, and already this has been just as many rounds as we saw in the first half, and it's only been 5.5 minutes. Row. A very fast sticky onto the big door of froyotech, or Ascent to start this mid off Blaze. The big aggressive bomb on Nursey. She's so low so early, but Blaze gets shot out of the air. It's not going to matter. Yomps gets the follow-up. Now it's Ascent's turn to try to get Shade or anything they can muster, but there's so many froyotechs just defending the medic. Habib's taking a bit of damage, but Banny's going to be the first one to go down, the second to go down on their team. Habib finds Happy Cool, and this is all for naught. Ascent are not going to be able to get anything with that. In the back line, Zayler cleaned up as well, and it's just Yite running all the way back for Nursey.
Alright, apparently, I'm guessing AIM was the victim of some kind of struggles there. Be pulling out the pause question. So that was what we saw earlier. Ascent are kind of okay.
Control point is being contested.
Interesting. They were apparently having a little bit of a pep talk inside the spawn room, and now things are all squared away. I don't think that awkward standing around in the spawn was. Oh, the Uber percentages. That's what the issue was.
Oh yeah.
That's why they were stopping and kind of feeling awkward. Definitely unfortunate because, you know, this is one of those positions where froyotech have the crits. They're going to be popping it, but there is an Uber available. And Nursey choosing not to pop. Very good sportsmanship right there. Not popping that Uber off to defend her life. But a follow-up from Yite is actually going to be able to clean the house with so much pressure coming in. It's exactly what Ascent needs to turn the tide. Everyone goes down. That's a full wipe, losing Nursey. What an incredible, just unbelievable positioning from Yite to get behind. And then the rest of the pressure from Campy and crew.
Karma pays off for Ascent. For those not aware, there's a bug right now where if you pause and your medic is healing, he will continue to gain overcharge through that pause. Nursey gained 40% through that overcharge and purposefully did not force the overcharge when froyotech came in, but Ascent won regardless. Nursey died, and they took control of that second point. Yomps up on Sniper, trying to stop this push from Ascent into this middle point. Not working too well, though. Everybody's still alive. Now there's aggressive from Blaze, trying to get in here. Will get one kill, and there's the shot onto Sailor with the headshot. Yomps managed to get it, and there's not a lot of health left on Ascent. They have to back off here. The fragging player is very, very low, and Nursey not able to keep them topped off. They're having to back off into the lobby, likely back to last as well. So it's a slight overcharge advantage, but nothing they can work off of. It's still respawning on these three players. They're going to go for it anyways. It's two overcharged targets, Armaloo and Happy Cool charging forward. They get Habib Shade forced to run away with 91% overcharge, and with that smart aggression very well counted by Ascent, they're going to hold on to the second point.
It's great screen. But yes, with Shade on full crit screen, it's going to be a good opportunity for a soldier crit? No, I'm kidding. It's not going to happen. They're going to be waiting for Habib. He's already back to the front lines. Yomps on that sniper could pull out the 450 crit body shot if they like, but I doubt that's how they're going to spend their crits. They can definitely get much more out of it, especially if they can get the positioning to just line up the lob shots with the crits. They give it so much room, and he could have called for the crits right there. And there's the pressure. Oh! Shade just dancing over the top of that rocket as it went right under his feet. No air shot today. froyotech now with a full crit streak. Habib coming into the lower lobby. He's going to be popping it right away, but the Uber is ready just in time. Great pop from Nursey to get in there. Not going to be chasing any further, though. They do not want to cut their losses by saying, hey, let's just go right into those crit stickies and die. You know, they're going to just make sure they stay alive, start building things back up as quickly as possible.
It will be probably slight advantage for the Kritzkrieg once it gets built up. I'm assuming that's what froyotech want to go off of. I think they did want to be able to kill Nursey with that Kritzkrieg, but as you mentioned, just in time, getting that overcharge. Yomps is still on Sniper, so that's going to make this push a little bit harder. He's going for a crazy shot here on top of the shutter door. Won't be able to get it, though. Forced off of it and going to live through this regardless. Garbuglio down in main, firing some pistol shots off, and Yomps going to reposition to right where his scout friend was. Not probably going to be able to hit the medic. Sees Yite, but again, not going to be able to hit the shot. Now Shade has that 100% crits. Are they going to go off of this slight advantage? No, they're not.
Why would they? They have a sniper. This is exactly what Yomps. Yomps was not accidentally blind for a minute. He didn't have his eyes stuck in his scope or anything like that. He knew what he was doing. He was going to die, so that he can come back up for the normal crits push. Ascent, though, are not going to be sitting back waiting for something to happen. Banny almost had an opportunity, but Yite keeping close tabs on that entrance to the lobby. It's time for Ascent to push out. They know this is how they need to approach it. froyotech are kind of reading the situation just right. They know Ascent has to push right now, so they're just sitting very comfortably back, letting Ascent decide how they want to approach from their last to their lobby to the upper river. And froyotech's just kind of feeling it out. They're very fluid with their positioning, waiting for the right moment before Ascent pushes inevitably with the Uber.
Yeah, I mean, it's they gotta be careful. If they push off at this point, obviously, this is a big map for back caps. You can get in through river, you can hide underneath. And you can make silly plays happen. There's the Crits Creek, and again, Nursey able to right-click fast enough. No players are going to go down in this Crits Creek, and it's Ascent getting aggressive in this river. Aim's still going to die to it, though, as Ubercharge fades a little bit too early. Down below, it will be Nursey winning the 1v1 against Garbuglio. froyotech are still trying to get in here. They got 3 frags already. Zaylor falls to Blaze. Yike dancing around here. Nursey trying to keep him topped off, but it's not going to matter. She's at 17 HP. She's trying to jump towards the point, but that's not going to help. It's 4-1 for froyotech.
Yeah, Nursey has 2 saw kills. You can't compete with that, Cornpop. 4-1. Not feeling too good, but you know, there's still plenty of time left. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tight. You gotta be playing perfectly as opposed to not how you've been playing so far. And right now, good start. Garbuglio gets taken down immediately by Campy. A nice little pipe up that elbow. Follow up from Mr. Blaze. Gonna immediately get launched into the corner and denied. Yomps also falling down. Gonna pick up Happy Cool, but with so many frags, 5-3, this is definitely pushing territory. They're trying to do a Banny crits right now, but it's on the wrong side of the second hold. And now, here comes the desperate push. Nursey does not have Uber, and this crits is definitely gonna catch them off guard if they time it right. Thankfully, though, Ascent back off, feeling a little bit weird about how froyotech's positioning is, and they decide to back off very wisely.
Yeah, Center predicting that crits creep from froyotech at this point. They're just going to assume there's a crits at all times because that's how Shade's been playing with it. Obviously, they don't want to take a huge risk and just push 6v6 necessarily. But as the time ticks down, you might see something like that happen. Aim pushing in through the choke point, not going to commit to that though. And as we see, I think that was a little bit awkward position for froyotech in that last fight. Because I think they should have had crits a little bit faster than they did. Marmalou gets nothing as he jumps in. And I think Ascent were worried about that crits creek that wasn't there, so both teams just sort of waiting for something that wasn't going to happen. Blaze coming up with the counter bomb now, gets 1 rocket on a Happy Cool, 1 on a Nursey, and Nursey surfs it to safety. So, a soldier stack a piece, nothing happening off of it though.
That's what we're used to. That's what we like to see. There used to be a glory day where a soldier could get in, actually make some plays, get some picks, get the drop even, or a force, anything like that. But instead, we're stuck with Campy getting another kill on the Banny with his sticky traps, and players getting juggled into the air as they get pressured out through the choke. People are just bullying their way in now. It's no more of this finesse with a roamer. We just straight up take the ground we want. Now froyotech still sitting on that crit. It's gonna pop it off right away. Does not connect with anyone on the first sticky, and the rest are probably gonna fall through with no more follow-up. Oh, Sailor! Takes so much damage, but does not get taken down. The splash was just too far away. And Ascent secured themselves an Uber advantage, and definitely going to be pushing into the last with no fear.
Yeah, this is Ascent's round to lose at this point in time. Even if Shade builds fast enough to get 100%, it's a crits creek. Ascent are going to be all shiny and invincible. They're happy with this. Garbuglio is on that pyro, but he's choosing the incorrect door. They're coming in through river. He will be able to rotate down. Will it be fast enough? He's pushing a couple players back in, and it's going to go great for him. Actually, he's forcing everybody back. Happy Cool gets taken down by the stickies, and nobody was able to get in. Yomps takes down Yite, and what a disaster. The pyro play from Garbuglio shutting everything down. Marmalou still hanging around in lobby, but he's going to have to retreat through big door. And that was well played by froyotech. A solid hold.
Crits comes out right away. froyotech are relentless in trying to get a frag here. Finally, Aim gives it to him. You know, he says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to die. I'm not trying to escape. You earned it. He was trying to escape, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
Habib will not allow that transgression to transpire.
Now I want to see...
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Was really close to seeing Blaze get in there, but he decides not.
Now I want to see what Ascent does with this, because they're going to have a slight advantage. It might be even. It depends how the building goes. With the way Nurse is building, I think they will have a bit of an advantage over Shade's Crits Creek. And I kind of want to see them get really aggressive and just take this fight. And that looks to be what they're doing. They've got they got their heels in choke. They have 100%. 95 from Shade, and they've changed their mind a bit. It looks like they're not going to get super aggressive unless it's through big door late. Happy Cool going down. They've used the Uber charge. Oh, it's a disaster. Banny living for so long. Aim finally takes him down. There goes Yomps as well. So that's 2 kills now on the side of froyotech, but they still got this Crits Creek fully alive. Blaze goes down. They're getting all the kills that they need to, and Shade didn't even need to pop the Uber charge. It's a demo medic versus demo medic, and Beeb and Blaze or Shade are running into this middle point.
Yeah, there's A little bit of a sticky trap situation going on from Zaylor. He's got stickies all over the point. That's not going to catch anyone. Surely it's not going to catch Habib as he walks slowly over to the left. Thankfully, Manny clears it out. And my casting curse power is not fully realized yet, Cornpop, but one of these days I'll make it happen. Nice juggling coming out to prevent that crit streak from peeking around the corner. The crit streak is still going to pick up a couple frags and a lot of extra damage. The shotgun spread is too strong. And there goes the rest of Ascent. Very nicely done. froyotech are in control once again. And it's looking very desperate. Ascent are going to have their Uber charge, but with time ticking away, they need to convert this defense into a last-to-last push and then take the next 3 rounds just to even bring it close to whatever they need to win this game.
Ascent actually still have the middle point capped. They have 100% Uber charge as well. It's going to be a solo Uber onto Zaylor. It's a nice pipe to start things off on a Blaze, but there's really nobody else here. That's not the Uber charge Ascent we're looking for. It's going to be a 1v1 Yomps versus Aim. Aim's got the high ground, wins it onto him. Still pushing here in Big Door. Pretty hectic. Oh, Nursey catching a pipe, though, from Habib is not going to be what they need. froyotech with 3 kills. Yite on 4 HP. Aim coming in now. He needs to save this for his team, but he's just trying to run away, play it safe, get back to the last point. He will be successful in that respect, but Shade has 100% crits. Nursey's just now spawning. froyotech are looking to take the game right here. Or the map, I should say.
Yeah. Whoa there. Not quite at the end of the game. We've still got a lot of map to go through, and right now, froyotech still also has to enable this crits through one Habib Jefferson, who's on an 8 kill streak. And he's ready. He's got the follow-up is with the laser heavy, but he's not gonna be taking it. Instead, he's gonna be trading off into the water, trying to create some room for the rest of the team. The crits have secured no frags, but it doesn't matter because all they care about is getting players to the point. froyotech are crumbling, and it's just Habib now. This could be the potential for a last-to-last, and actually, though, Habib picking up a nice frag onto Zaylor might slow down this push, because if the demo survived, this definitely could have been Ascent last-to-last push, but now things would be slowed down just a little bit, having a little bit less firepower in their arsenal.
Yeah, froyotech popped the crits in through River, and Nursey literally just walked through Shutter into the lobby, completely negating that crits, and of course didn't get any other kills with it as well. So froyotech, I'm telling you guys, this crits isn't working. Maybe the Banny engineer will. He was caught out. He's having to eat some soldier spam from Marmaloo, but he just built a gun right outside of spawn. He's currently holding it, building it again. Interesting strategy. Doesn't pay off for him, though. His gun goes down. Blaze as well as Supercharge does get popped off. They're going for Yomps, who's on Sniper right now, run all the way back to his own team's lobby, and this is going just fine for froyotech. They lost the sentry gun, which is a tragedy, but ultimately they're not going to be too upset about it. They've got 65% on Shade, and they're willing to take it. But Ascent getting aggressive. They see the time, and they want to keep getting rounds on the board. Garbulia going down. Habib as well, catching a pipe from Zaylor, and through pure DM, Ascent have bullied their way onto the second point.
This is the opportunity we've been waiting for, Cornpop. I can feel it. The wheels are turning. Ideas are starting to form into the minds of the players of Ascent. The problem is, froyotech have Uber, not Kritzkrieg. So now it's just the pressure on from Marmaloo. Not going to be hitting any rockets whatsoever. Shade has a incredible anti-air defense system at his disposal, and looks like Ascent are on the defensive. They will be getting their Uber in time, though, so if this is poorly executed by the rest of froyotech, this could be an Ascent Uber advantage once the counter Uber comes out. But Marmaloo, currently on the back line, is going to be meeting up with Mr. Yomps. Yomps not going to be able to get anything out of it. So now froyotech putting their Uber off, desperate to get Garbuglio into the fray right now. Nursey getting a little bit better Uber exchange. It's actually kind of even on both sides with the flashing, and the positioning is not in froyotech's favor. They're going to have to back out through the baby door, and aggression comes out from Marmaloo, who's going to be chasing in through the lobby. Does clear out some things for it and calls it out for his team. Hey, we've got a little bit of room.
It was a really even exchange. It's kind of a game of chicken, who's going to pop their Uber charge off first, and it ended in a tie. Both teams pop the Uber charge off. Now they're already getting aggressive into last. It's a little too aggressive from Aim for my taste. He's going to go down to Habib, and that puts player advantage in favor of froyotech. They're going to capitalize off of that, taking down Yite in lobby, and now there's only 4 Ascent players left alive. I really don't like that. They could have taken that a whole lot slower and been fine with it. Blaze goes down up top, though. Marmalou having to trade it off, though. Habib dying too. Happy cool. That makes it a little bit more favorable for Ascent. And because of that, that's probably going to stop froyotech from pushing off their last point. froyotech are just buying time for themselves, though. There's just over 9 minutes to go, so still plenty of time to get 3 rounds on the board. But every second that the clock ticks on is a second in favor of froyotech. They just need to hold on to this lead. They don't need to necessarily even win this round. As long as they can buy some time for the future rounds, they'll be okay with this. And with Banny setting up shop, it looks like they'll be able to stall for a little bit longer.
Everyone loves to see is the Pyro sitting at the base of River and a sentry gun on its way up to the top. Good air blast spam, a little bit of an exchange going here right at the river. Not going to be too exciting from there on out. And now, Cornpop, I'm getting a little nervous here because froyotech is doing exactly what they need to do. They've got all the tools in their favor. They've got the Pyro Air Blast, the Sentry Gun, the time, which is the biggest factor here. I don't know how it can work out. We do see a battalion's backup in the hands of Marmalou, which I do like to see. I don't know if it can build off Sentry Guns. I want to say it can, but it's hard to say for sure. But with all these air blasts coming out, it's hard for them to build up any rage meter whatsoever. But as soon as they do, that Sentry Gun is going to be pretty much nullified, as well as the rest of the damage reduction from all sources.
One thing I will say is the scrappy fights have actually been going pretty well for Ascent. I think that lack of damage from Eric on the side of froyotech is really hurting them in the more hectic and chaotic engagements that are going down. Especially with Garbuglio now on Pyro. If he chooses incorrectly, he won't have a very big impact on the fight. Yite goes in, he dies. Ascent are taking this slow, and 7.5 minutes, they can do that, but obviously it's going to make it harder for the next 2 rounds they have to get on the board. So they've got Marmalou Battalion back up. He's been trying to spam it out. We can't see what his bar is at right now, but based on the way he's playing, I'm assuming he doesn't have it yet. With Yite running in, spawning back up on Scout, I don't think Ascent are going to be pushing for a while still.
Yeah, we've seen this constantly throughout this match, is whenever there's a point being contested, we usually hit the 6-minute mark with no effort, and that's what's on the round timer right now, and that's not what you want to see if you're Ascent trying to push last, knowing that there's less than 15 minutes, maybe less than 10 minutes at this point. So they're going to be pulling off the Uber exchange right now into the face of the shutter. Both sides getting a lot of spam and chaotic juggling coming through. The air blast did a lot of the work there, and nothing happened. That was strange.
They might be going for the post-Uber fight if Marmalou has built up his banner already. Going for that when there's no more Uber charges on the field, but Marmalou is still trying to spam, and he's just, all of his rockets get air blasted back at him, so he's not building up this banner, and he's just taking so long for him to get anything. Now he's finding out he's gonna die before he even pops it off. All of that work, all of that time completely wasted. Oh, Banny even says it for me, all of that work gone. Now froyotech are pushing in a lobby. They find Happy Cool as well, and I think this is probably the nail in the coffin for Ascent for this map. It's a little too soon to call, still 6 minutes in this clock. Banny's moved his sentry gun to the second point. Zaylor will find it. There's no back caps in sight unless Marmalou can go for it. Yomps has got the Uber charge popped on over. They're capping the second point off now. Gonna be good contention from Nursey. The Uber charge is a lot better, so this fighting is gonna transfer over into lobby. Aim will get killed because of it. And froyotech are backing off to their last points, but they don't care. They've wasted so much time, and the spirits on Ascent cannot be high.
Yeah, and every 90 seconds that passes by is essentially another round lost. If Ascent played perfectly at the end of winning a round, they would get that 90-second round win, and that's exactly what they need. But as soon as we break that 4-minute 30 mark, it's almost all but gone. If they don't get this cap done before the 4-minute 30 mark, it's definitely the end for Ascent's goalie wash dreams. But,
and even then,
yeah,
so difficult to get a 90-second round.
If you can get if you can get around in 90 seconds, buddy, I mean, why haven't you done it already, you know? So, right now the pressure is on from lower as well as the river. A little bit of underground shenanigans does get taken down. Aim can't make it happen for his team. Marmalou also taking a little bit of extra damage over here on the sidelines by the lobby. The rest of his Ascent crew is getting locked up, and they're desperate to find another opening, but with players dying, it's going to be even harder for them to initiate.
I don't know, I just don't agree with the strategy from Ascent. I think they're taking this way too slow. They should have just taken the even Uber exchange like 6 minutes ago and just seeing how it went, because it's gone all right for them in the past. You know, they were winning these scrappy fights, and yeah, you're pushing into Gully Wash last. That's not favorable, but you need all the time you can get. And at this point, clearly doing nothing, trying to build banners, trying to sack in players has not worked out for you. Just over 4 minutes on that clock, and they're gonna have to take the exchange. They're throwing in Happy Cool and Nursey down below. I believe they were seen, maybe not. Here they are popping it off onto the point, trying to run forward, get the Garbuglio frag if possible. They're getting nothing at all. The sentry gun goes down. Nursey runs through River, leaving Happy Cool alone to die. Shade didn't have to pop, and Vanny gonna be running in through lobby. He doesn't get anything for his troubles, but Habib overextending as well. That could be good.
Habib dying is huge. That is everything on this last point. If there's no one to defend the point, Zaylor, who's currently sitting behind it, is just going to be throwing out stickies very easily. This is what you do when you're in Div 6 in EU. I'm not even kidding. You just wait underwater and kill all these players. And so now, there it is. They just draw the players in and get the cap. Right. This could be done. What time is you know, what's the time on the clock?
Well, we'll see as soon as it pops up for this next round. 4-2, 3 minutes, 12 seconds. Technically
Literally needs
possible.
2 perfect rounds back to back. Wipe at mid, push to second, cap last with no effort.
froyotech need to just keep a few players alive on this mid, and they will basically crush the dreams. That's a good start. Blaze going down, not being successful in his bomb. Ascent needs to keep this pressure up. There goes the demo man. Garbuglio looks like he might get caught out as well. Running through big door, 4 HP, backing off. Will be able to survive. froyotech keep 4 players alive, but it will be an Ascent mid. Take this, and they're already on second as well. They're going to get this very fast, but froyotech up top. They're not willing to give up the second point just yet. It's the wraparound. Ascent coming in. They're going to be able to take or shut things down for froyotech. froyotech don't necessarily know where all of Ascent are. They're coming in through the shutter door. froyotech have given themselves the high ground as they chase the frag onto Marmalou. Now there's a fight going down. They haven't exchanged their uber charges just yet. Nurse doesn't even have hers yet. This could be a disaster. Finally gets it in time before she goes down. Blaze is the one who gets killed in this fight. Here comes a jump in by AIM trying to kill these players. Of course, Shade had to pop his supercharge off again, but they're losing a lot of players here. This is it for Ascent, keeping 5 alive only. The demo and the medic still alive. They're gonna have to tap the second point and take it all the way to last.
One respawn up so far, couple waves coming in 3 seconds. I don't think it's going to be fast enough for Ascent to secure a round win. They're trying to rush their way in through this balcony, and immediately pulls 2 frags that are absolutely crucial. And I think that's going to stop this momentum. If they had any chance of winning that round quickly enough to give another chance for a really quick round, that was it, and there it went.
Yup, with only 2 alive, a scout and a medic, and soon to be just a medic, soon to be nobody at all. froyotech cap the second, wipe the enemy team. They're here on this middle point, just taking names, only Zaylor and Marmalou. There goes Marm. Zaylor, not a chance in this world. froyotech will take the first map. I'm gonna call it now. 4-2 at the very least. Will they be able to make it 5-2 row? Quite possibly.
Be a very, very sad thing. It's one thing, Ascent needs to hold on to a 4-2 deficit. If it becomes 5-2, then it's just like any other match they've played, where, oh, we lost first to 5 rather than we played our best. And right now the Super's looking really strong, taking down the sentry gun on the left side. Players flooding in, though. Ascent are not going to be faltered because they are spread very evenly and actually catching out a lot of players, so they will at least hold on to that short amount of pride there. Oh, Garbuglio pulled a nice little ditty on 2 players. 3. Can he actually do this for his team? Not with Marmalou holding it down for his team. It's a full wipe, and Ascent aren't even going for anything else. They're just spawn camping. Campy doing his best here, but the air blast is too strong, and Campy's efforts go unnoticed.
Yeah, certainly in garbage time now. 25 seconds on that clock means that there is no chance for Ascent. Maybe froyotech could get their 5th round, but really at this point, they're looking to map number 2. They're looking towards Snakewater, which honestly, I feel pretty good for Ascent on, because this first half was very, very strong. They showed that they're not going to just get rolled over and destroyed by froyotech. 4-2 is your final score. GG's come out, and you know what? They didn't win it, but it was a good showing by Ascent.
Yeah. Map 1. Good stuff. I do have the logs in front of me, and I'm gonna tell you, Cornpop, I'm impressed. For what turned into a 3-1 in the second half.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to the damage numbers?
Oof, I'm betting they're better for froyotech. Is that correct?
Campy pulled ahead with
Wow.
19,000 damage
Wow.
on his own, breaking that 322 mark. Khabib still close behind with
Yep.
the good old 289 at 17k, but just incredible performance from Campy, sitting at 29 frags, 14 deaths, least in the server, not counting Shade, the other medic, but he died less than Nursey.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty great play by the demo man for Ascent. Overall though, I mean, Froyotech, looking at their stats, Garbuglio pulled it back a little bit, certainly. Still only at 22 frags and 148 DPM. He's an acceptable stand-in. I mean, he's not necessarily Froyotech caliber on the scout roll at least, but he's not so much of a dead weight. And this is sounding pretty mean already, but you know, he's not hindering his team so bad that Froyotech are losing. They're still able to win with him, at least on this first map, 4-2. Maybe not as dominant as they were looking for, but a win is a win. 4-2 is as good as a 5-0 is as far as the maps are concerned. So other than that, if you look on the stats, I don't see anything too huge. Banny played pretty well, 38 frags. It's Habib, though, who's top on the frag scoreboard at 42 and 16. That's a nice KDR.
Yeah. Sorry, there's not much to that really. I mean, good stats,
Yeah.
good rundown. We can get set up and hurry up and wait for the next match on Snakewater. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just say thank you all for watching Map 1. We're going to Map 2 very shortly, folks. You can get yourself a drink, maybe some popcorn. I'm actually in the mood for popcorn, like ridiculously bad. So I need some sustenance. Everyone needs some sustenance. And speaking of sustenance, we have DJ Console with all your needs. Very intimate musical needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got some good news for you. The Magic Wizard Try has fixed things for us, and we have gotten an STV to work. So we're going to be able to cast the rest of this game. Currently, it is 1-0 for Ascent. Froyotech have just won the first mid-fights. Well, the second mid-fights, I guess. First mid-fight of this round. But Nursey has Ubercharge advantage, so Ascent are looking to get back into this middle point. It's a little bit choppy, but it's not too bad. So we're going to continue on with the cast as normal. Garbuglio going down is going to help out this push if Ascent want to push with this Ubercharge advantage. It's about 20%, so it's not going to be the easiest to push, and they're not super in position to, although they are running over towards the Saw now. 100% on Nursey, 88 from Shade. And this is going to be pretty risky, especially since they're taking their time. The spawns are up for Froyotech. I don't think it's going to be a great one. Here they go, popping it off anyways, though. Shade at 100. Yomp's going to get caught out there, shot of the air by Happy Cool. Now up on top, Bandy's got to watch over him. A nice fight from Zayler, though, will be able to take him down. Blaze still peeking in. Here's the Crits Creek from Shade. Habib trying to get some kills. 2, 3 now. Nursey, Yite, and Happy Cool all dying to the Crits Creek of Habib. It's the best one he's had all night. Blaze will go down to Zayler, but that's not going to matter. Habib gets his 4th one in this crits. Marmu in the back line still fighting with Yomps. Should be able to stay alive at the very least. But excellent job by Froyotech utilizing this crits effectively. Marmalu now in, not going to get anything. Other than
We got Yomps. Oh, come
Okay,
on.
my bad,
Yomps
my
is a
bad.
person too. But yeah, that was really great crits from Habib. It was just so well timed. They lost all their players. They just got all the way back, and then all of a sudden, boom, one crits to rule them all. Finally shines in that moment. We're seeing now. Good initiation from Froyotech. They do have Shade on Uber again. He did manage to pull up one of the mediguns of the medic he just killed, so they might be expecting a crits create from Shade, but the truth is, he has a medigun.
Ooh, and this is going to be dangerous. It will be even, obviously. The center are not going to push off of their slight advantage. But yeah, they're going to think you're up against a crits, which means they're going to play this a little bit differently. It is a sniper on both sides, Yomps versus Yite. Battle of the Y snipers. And Yomp's going to win that in his first shot. Takes down the Gnome Sniper. Marmalu Very little HP. Will get pistol down by Banny. Trades it out, though. A 1-for-1. Blaze coming in from the left-hand side, though. Throws Nurse into the air, and she will respect Blaze. Pops the Uber charge off. Wary of that air shot. She's going to push forward with her team. Not really doing a whole lot, though, for Ascent. Now, again, they're going to be expecting a crits, but it is an Uber charge in the hands of Shade.
They're waiting for an opportunity. They gotta have their numbers, okay? Can't push without Banny or Blaze. That's fact. Trying to get a little bit of ground here with their sniper. Just taking a little couple pot shots from the left side, and now froyotech have their crew ready for a push. They're gonna be rotating over to the right side underneath. Where's it gonna be?
Looks like they're going to pop it in right here. They've gone on now. Zayler's going to be able to get back in the spawn. Not doing a whole lot with the supercharge. They got a little bit of point time. They got the gun down as well, but there's all the kills for froyotech. They're going to get 2 now. It's 2 for 2. Nurse's going to end up dying, and there's so little HP for Ascent. They're all clobbered on point. There's nothing they can do. froyotech are going to tie it at 1.
Very nicely done. That was just kind of like one of those pushes where they had enough time that it didn't really make that much of a difference what kind of frags they picked up, what kind of advantages they pulled through. It just kind of was enough of a mess that they could secure the frags they wanted. And now, froyotech on the coattails of victory. Coming to this next mid, Habib throwing a couple stickies on the right, making sure no players can get in, but there's no players to look for over there. Big high bombs coming out from Ascent. Follow up from Blaze, trying to play a little bit passively there. But with both their soldiers, or excuse me, yeah, one soldier down, both their soldiers kind of in the passive. We're seeing froyotech now grabbing extra frags to push forward here. Chasing out through the window as well, and they are still on Kritzkrieg. And Ascent have their Uber ready to go, but this Kritzkrieg is going off 90% just in time. That was 99 as soon as the first crits rang out. And they are going to grab, oh, Blaze not going to be able to escape, and Marmalou will get taken down. Shade taking a little bit of pressure here. Habib, though, gonna dunk on Marmalou, keep him from getting out.
Yeah, important for Ascent to be able to not lose right there. If Nursey had lost her heal target at 99%, that would have been a disaster. But Habib going down, trade for Happy Pool is not going to be too big of an issue. That's great for Ascent. They're able to push out on the second point. Banny on very little HP just runs into the combo. Not going to get anything, though, other than Yite going down as a 1-for-1 scout trade. And with that kill, Ascent are not going to be able to utilize this push. They know that Shade is still on Kritzkrieg, so this is going to be coming in fairly soon. The question is, are froyotech going to push off of this Kritz advantage?
Even if they didn't have the advantage, you still just pop it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to get the force out, and you're going to build a Kritzkrieg faster than they can build an Uber, and then it just works out, you know? And if anything else, they're just going to pop it by, you know, hoping to get Nursey. It's not going to happen. I mean, we're not amateur hour here. But it is possible that a crits could come out and net a frag. But with so much ground to cover between the time it gets fired and the entrances there are, I doubt it's going to happen. Nursey is too smart, and there are too many players calling for it. Yike going to get taken out here by Froyo. Yams. A little bit of ground taken over as well. The sentry gun is doing a lot of work here, but the cap time is so strong. The force actually comes out, and Shade is all the way at spawn.
Wow. That must have been huge miscoordination for froyotech. They were all in, and Shade was running away. I guess that was intentional. Was it a 5-man sack row?
It was the weirdest thing, but they had enough cap time in the end of it all that they actually could have won it, and that was what forced out the Uber from Nursey. So now, all they need is a sentry kill, and they can basically take this crits in as a normal push. They're going to spam it out right now. Gun does go down. A little bit of pressure, though, onto the soldiers. They aim does not want to let any more ground get taken. Marmalou is waiting at this entrance, but Froyo are probably ready for it. They're going to be sending in a nice little interesting hop, skip, and a jump. The crits comes out now, cutting to the left side. Not connecting with any players, but all they need to do is cap the point, and they do just that. This is what I like to see. Who cares about killing the entire enemy team and capping? You got to just pull out the strats, buddy. Put them in a no-win scenario.
Yeah, that was a really interesting strategy from froyotech. They did lose all of their players except for Shade, but they got the force, and ultimately they got enough kills that Ascent could not push out of their last point, so they were able to win that nice and cleanly. Take the lead in this map for the first time. froyotech get aggressive. They're all going through kitchen, and they're so fast. Marmalou, the first counter, but aim with the counter bomb, going to be doing as much damage as he can. Zayler picks up one, and there goes Banny and Yomps. They're going to lose Happy Cool in the midst of that, but they're getting all these frags. Garbuglio not long for this world, shot down by Yite. And it was a good attempt by froyotech, but a great counter by Ascent.
Yeah, Habib, the only living body, and setting up some cheeky little sticky traps here and there. Pulling attention from players. Can he get the blind debt drop? Oh my goodness. Nursey, no! Oh! Timed it right, but Nursey was nowhere near that wall, so the detonation did not connect. The blast radius doesn't quite work that way. Yom's getting very aggressive here right now, trying to do a barrel strat. Goes for the quick shot. Got way too much ground there, but Nursey not going to be letting any more get through. And so, ooh, Marm getting knocked out on the traps in main. Froyo doing a very good job of keeping this defense tight. Defensive crits, Shade, you fool!
Ooh. Yeah, with this Crits Krieg, it's going to be a rough defense, especially because he's not even going to have it for 30% more. If Ascent go quickly, well, he should be able to build in the post Uber. We'll see how this Uber ends up playing out and how fast Ascent can push. 90% now as Ascent are walking the left-hand side. They pop the Uber charge off. There's a lot of defensive off classes. They force Garbuglio to spawn, but they don't get the kill on him. The gun, they're hearing it, but they're not able to take it out just yet. They got a lot of damage done onto it, but it finally goes down, or at least the engineer swaps off, and Ascent are really finding nothing at all with this other than the demo man they've gotten so far. Here's the Crits Krieg. It's a blaze crits, and they're not getting anything really either. Yom's finds a happy cool. But otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on. Ascent are jumping on the right-hand side now. Marmalou's getting some damage down onto Garbuglio, but he's eating so much in return. The scouts from froyotech just run on back. A little bit of point time from AIM, but he just touches it, gets right back out to Zaylor, who will get cleaned up in lobby.
Really important note there, Habib killed himself.
Yeah.
With a, I think it was a crit suicide? Yeah, it was a crit suicide. Which means a critical hit killed himself, meaning he did the best crits he's ever done.
Oh no. Well, froyotech regardless held on, and now they're gonna hold on to the middle point as well. It is even Uber charges. Again, I still think it's Crits Krieg for Shade. Yes, it is. So they have to back off. Nursey pops her Uber charge. It's a little bit too premature, though. Nobody's really here. They wanted to get more players than that. They popped a little bit blind, and now froyotech are gonna be able to come back in with this post Uber crits. They're gonna get Yite. They're gonna get Nursey. Happy go in the back line's not gonna matter. There goes all of Ascent's players. Marmalou, the last man standing. They don't know he's right there, though. He's on to Shade. No, he doesn't get the next rocket, though. Marmalou can't hold it down. It's a wipe.
So I wanted to say that was, in my view, the perfect crits. It's the crits where every single kill is critical. And even better, it was passed along through different players. Like, whoever needed the crits in that moment got the kill that was needed in that moment. And it spread perfectly evenly. You just love to see it. And Marmalou somehow was just right there, ready to kill someone. And no one knew he was there. And he just didn't get the shot he needed. Now, Crits Krieg, full advantage. Shade getting ready to pop it up on the right side. This could have been an Uber swap, but they kept the crits. Gonna grab Happy Cool. I'm gonna assume that was the engineer. It was. Marmalou gonna juggle out Habib, who's gonna get locked into position, and Yite gonna get the snipe. Him going down is not the end of the world, though, because froyotech are collapsing all over Ascent players. It's just, but not enough. Cornpop, we're gonna be able to sleep. I mean, it's 3-1, and Ascent are not out of the running yet.
Yeah, I mean, in that last push, they focused really hard on trying to stuff out Habib, and they juggled him up in the air, but he just got so many kills and damage that he was easily able to clean it up. And as you said, yeah, 3-1, first half is over. It's getting pretty late into the night on the East Coast, at the very least. We've just passed that 1 a.m. mark. So, we're going long, but it might not be too much longer for froyotech. If they win just 2 more rounds in the next 30 minutes, they will move on to the grand finals and end the match for tonight. If not, then we will see a third map, assuming Ascent can win enough maps or rounds to force us there. But we'll see. This map definitely does not look as close as the last one did, which is a little bit surprising considering it's Snakewater, and this is Ascent. This is supposed to be their map. They're going anyways. Shade is saying he's playing crits to mid, but that's nothing new.
And I do want to point out real quick, rundown from the stats. We're already live, but I think for the first time in playoffs in a very long time, we have a 3-1 KD from Habib, 27-9.
Wow. Great stat line for the demo man of froyotech. Now they want to continue that into this mid-fight. Blaze and Yomps coordinated their bombs, trying to get damage, but they're not coordinating targets. They get Zayler, but they lose both of their lives. Garbuglio still jumping around the Ascent combo here, taking a lot of damage. Eats a rocket on his way out. There's only 3 Froyo players left alive up against 4 Ascent. And they're going to be able to take down Shade very likely. He's jumping around. He's popped his crits off, though. And there goes Nursey. Such a nice sticky from Habib. Takes down the enemy team medic. And Shade dancing around will be able to make it out through Saw. Nice hot pipe from Habib. Takes down Happy Cool. It's just Marmalou left alive, trying to get anything he can, and he will not find any.
The control point is being contested.
And throwing out the sage advice: don't jump, scouts. The end of that, they're all stacking mid rather than pushing out, really taking their time with these pushes, not really in a rush it seems, much to our dismay, but they are in control of this mid, they are in control of this match. They do have Medigun in possession, but the advantage is very small. Attempt comes out from AIM, did manage to pick up Yomps with his flight, but Garbuglio a little overextended here inside lobby, might get caught out here, but Banny thankfully got his back. Comes in, cleans up Marm. Froyo now hitting, still sitting on that small advantage. Might be able to make it work into enough of an advantage to take down Nurse before she gets her Uber. She is close though, 85% on the dot. Here comes the push, a lot of juggling in the air. Blaze creating a lot of room, trying to get some damage onto this demo. Not going to get the better of it. Happy Cool doing good defense here. And now the Uber is ready for Ascent. They're going to be chasing down Habib, taking him down. Shade, you are legendary with the backcaps. He's not pulling it off tonight, but he's going to be throwing up a quick 450 buff on the Yomps, who does not last very long.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing? He had a perfect opportunity to take down Shade as Shade was running away from second. Gonna focus the heavy instead. A little unfortunate, gets the medic out for froyotech, but regardless, we'll focus on the positives. Ascent did not just lose another round, which means they're sitting on second. Not too bad, and they're gonna get killed on the Blaze as well. Great rocket from Marmalou. He loses his life for it. It was a 1-for-1 soldier trade, but Ascent are fine with that. They still have the numbers advantage. They're charging onto this middle point. Garbuglio and Banny stuck in behind. Banny might not be too upset with that. He's worked his way into the second point. He can do a lot of things here. Come for the back cap. He will be trying to cap that point. His team is trying to block this middle, and if Banny can get this cap off, they're winning the middle fight. They don't even necessarily need it. Oh, they will get the cap. Banny just running all the way back to last now. Oh. No, he's sitting on second. All right, not going to challenge Marmalou.
Yeah, he just wants to. He did what he needed to do. He knows what is responsible for his team, and his best bet is going for the med, which he does go for. Nursey only going to get slightly scathed, down to about 100 health. No worries whatsoever. Ascent are holding on to their second, back in control, more or less, if you can even call holding their second after a back cap and a failed mid stop. You know, getting back into control. froyotech are once again ready to rock with this Uber. Still Nursey's Medigun, the shame of it all.
Yeah, 65% on Nursey. Shade walking in with 1 hundo. And she's very low, 15%. Will pop it off nice and shiny and safe. Yites going in for the flank though, walking in through window. The rest of Ascent have made it out alive, even picking up Garbuglio. Yites in the perfect position to take down the medic. Doesn't get anything else, but he opens things up for his team. There's a bomb from Marmalou, takes down Habib. They gotta watch out for Banny, they gotta watch out for Yomps. Takes down both of them very cleanly, and it's only Blaze, a rare survivor from froyotech.
Yeah, usually the first to go.
Exactly.
But, that's just the roamer stigma when Blaze is here to break rules. He's the surviving roamer. And he's going to be locking things down on second while the cap is going off for Ascent. No shenanigans from froyotech. Ignore the engineer. I meant no back cap shenanigans. No trying to stop this midpoint. Ascent are being very cautious right now. But Yomps busting out the sniper. Going to try and get some shots on the aim. Does not work out. Banny keeping good tabs and pulls the gun in, and he's ready to pop his lunch out at any moment.
Yeah, he's gonna let Ascent walk in with their Uber charge, still sitting in that forward spawn. Now he walks out after the threats around his spawn has been taken out, builds that gun up, immediately dies. Not a great strategy by him. Regardless, the team's done pretty well. There's only 3 Ascent players left alive. Happy Cool, not long for this world. What a bomb by the soldier players. And Blaze will get the 4th one onto Zayler. Nursey on 2% Uber charge. Not even gonna... Is she gonna make it out? Habib on the chase. He doesn't have a whole lot of HP. And Nursey's back with her spawners, so Nursey will barely survive. But that's not what you want to be in if you're Ascent.
Yeah, and it's not really that big of a play, but right now the crits comes out next with Zaylor. But that was what I wanted to focus on, was Marm was in position to take down Shade. They were just a little bit too antsy, saying, hey, there's 5 players walking out of spawn. Let me go get them. You gotta remember, 5 is not 6. And that number 6 is all you need to ruin your day. And there we see it now, a very desperate defense from a Happy Cool, trying to get on top of Nursey, who's juking her best. Thankfully, with the speed boost from healing a scout, gonna be able to survive. There is a Khabib on the prowl, gonna be escaping out through the saw, and man, Nursey on 30 HP in the clutches of despair. Happy Cool of Savior.
Yeah, that was great play by the Scout and Medic combo. They had to hold it down for their team. They needed to keep Nursey alive, and they did exactly that. Well played to both the newest member of Ascent and one of the oldest, Nursey. So they're going to be sitting still on second. froyotech have large Ubercharge disadvantage. I expect Ascent to push into this middle point. Again, you always got to be careful. There's a couple of players down lower here, still challenging on second. Blaze won't be able to win it, but Garbuglio gets the kill, gets in on the second point, and Banny's back there as well. All of Ascent needs to come back. Their combo need to focus on this threat. Garbuglio's down. Banny likely to make an escape here. Oh, but kind of juggling around. Gets a frag for it. All right, that works too. It's a 3-on-3, and the crits! They don't expect it at all. Khabib and Yomps get Nursey and Zaylor, and Happy Cool can't save his medic this time, running back to last. An excellent play by Shade and Khabib.
The control point is being contested.
You hate to see it. froyotech, and now once again pulling up the in your face. Let me grab your Uber Medigun real quick and just use it to push this last. Not gonna be a significant advantage, but we've seen, actually it's much more significant than before, so I take that back. We're looking at a huge opportunity here. But Garbuglio gonna get sniped by Yite, who is pulling a few tricks. Gonna be rotating in the spawn, not really committing to any more of aggressive pushes. It's really more of a defensive thing, playing from the spawn.
Yeah, Garbuglio going down there, maybe it shows a bit of lack of coordination between him and the rest of the team, but it's not a huge deal because he's going to be able to spawn back up before Shay gets that Ubercharge anyways. And Nursey's only at a pitiful 40% right now, so they have no worries about that. They can wait for Garbuglio to run all the way back. And froyotech are going to be looking pretty to get their next round on the board. Currently 3-1 is the score. They're looking for 4-1 as they stare at the shutter. They got to heal Blaze up first, though. That's going to waste even more time.
Yeah, and every second counts when it comes to Uber counting. froyotech. They're just taking their sweet time with this, and that's actually they were so focused on the gun because they want to have a good Uber that they've allowed Nursey to catch up in this race, and so now froyotech are in the worst position of having to send in some sacks, but it worked out before with that 5-man sack, and they do pick up Yite, but they lost 4, and only Khabib is on the defense right now.
And importantly, they didn't force Ubercharge either, so Nursey at 100%, 4 players to heal. As long as they don't walk into a Khabib sticky trap, which they did not, they're going to be fine to cap this second point off. There it goes. A poor play by froyotech. That should have been their round, but here they come. They still want to take this fight, exchanging the Ubercharge. They've lost Blaze in the midst of this. Nursey has to flash so many players. Their Ubercharge isn't going to last for too much longer, but froyotech on a little bit low HP, going to have to back off into Saw after losing Blaze. This fight is not looking the way they hoped it would. Banny's still fighting in Saw as well. It was an exchange. It's not going to go too poorly, and they're going to back off to that middle point.
Working really good for froyotech right now, walking in, taking down Marm. Banny getting a very good 1v2 essentially on some very weak players, following up with the damage. Ascent are now retreating very desperately. froyotech are not going to be letting up here. If they can grab aim here, this could be their push. They still need to finish capping second, and there's no one there. Finally, they do send Garbuglio back. Hey, buddy, can you grab that real quick for us? But Ascent picking up some good frags of their own. Banny, Yomps, Khabib as well, and Blaze, the 4th and last to fall. Garbuglio and Shade now on the retreat. This could have been froyotech's round, but some poor coordination and good defense from Ascent, punishing froyotech's hubris. Will enable them to stay in this round.
Yom's going for a big bomb right onto Nursey, but she surfs it so well, and he's not going to be able to get the follow-up. So, Unfortunate for him, not going to get that force off, and that puts Ascent in a player advantage. Marmalu's so little HP, though, not going to be able to act off of it. Blaze and Saw just forcing everybody out, making sure that there is no chance Ascent can capitalize off of that small advantage. And Yomp's coming up with a respawn now, still on Soldier. Going to nullify any last attempts by Ascent. So they're still looking into Saw. It's still 100-100. Bandy finds an opportunity to just sort of walk into Yard. He can see the point, but Marmalu's going to walk up to challenge him. Blaze gets in now again on top of Nursey, and this time she's forced to pop it off. After a couple of rockets land around her, they're going to get him and the Soldier partner in Yomps as well. Fighting in Saw at the moment. Shade will pop his Ubercharge off quite a bit later, catching a few Ascent players off guard. Yite taken down in the back lines, and Banny's still looking for more, but will only find a rocket from AIM. Garbuglio down there as well, in a lot of trouble. It'll be Happy Cool on a 6th frag of this life, taking him down, thrown over the air now, and Habib hits the air pipe, but it's not going to matter. He still loses his life, and Ascent take this middle point.
Very good momentum shift. Shade's still up, though. A little bit behind on Uber, but holding on to that medigun all the same. Blaze jumps in behind, trying to pull some players back. Might be able to grab something else. He does meet up with Yite inside the Saw room, but oh my goodness, get dumpstered. And Shade dropped from, not dropped, but, you know, got taken down.
Yeah, he found a beautiful rocket angle. It's not going to matter because it gets equalized by Yomps, but still a great job by Marmalu to be able to find that and take down Shade. It's still going to work out so well for Ascent to be able to get back up on the second point. Habib stays alive, as he often does, but he's not going to be able to hold off an entire 4-man push from Ascent. So backing off the last with his team, Ascent, a great opportunity to get back into the game. They are an Ubercharge disadvantage, though, and it's not super substantial, but froyotech still want to go off it. They think they have the positioning and health advantage as well, which they do. They bully their way onto the second point, and Ascent are in a little bit of trouble, but Yite has sneaks into the back lines. I don't know if anybody's seen him go back there. froyotech need to get on this point as soon as they can, but Yite is back there, and nobody can stop him with the back cap. Ascent are back in this game.
Alright, I really need you to take this next, real quick, Cornpop, take this next mid for us and walk us through this next mid, because I need to get right back.
Absolutely. 17:34 remaining in this half. 3-2 is the scoreline. Ascent only need one more round to tie it up. And it's an even playing field as they look to take it back to Viaduct. Right now, they're still exchanging spam. froyotech definitely the more aggressive team so far. They've gotten Yomps in the enemy team's kitchen. Blaze jumping across that point. Sees some damage on Marmalu. So little HP, 4 health. He's still staying alive somehow, though. And froyotech push across the point. They lose a couple of their soldiers, but get 2 in return. In the back lines, Yate's been doing so much damage. Takes down Shade at the end of here. Garbuglio will fall shortly. The last player alive on his team gets the pistol kill on Azala right before it happens, which is not an inconsequential kill, but regardless, it's a wipe from froyotech. 3 left alive on Ascent, including Nursey.
This is a good start for Ascent's comeback. 3-2. Going down 1 round. Yomps on that sniper, gonna try. Checks very carefully for a hiding player. Gets the angle from all the way across the bats to the Saw room. And that's gonna open up the door for Blaze to take his perch. Because wherever Blaze can land 2 rockets from a high bomb is where he feels most comfortable right now. But instead, they're gonna have to back out. Ascent doing a very good job of carefully opening up the door for their entrance. And froyotech are forced back into their last, and Shade still on crits.
Oh boy, holding last with crits is actually not a great idea. Generally not where you want to be, especially not when the enemy team is charging forward with an Ubercharge. You're only at 95. He's going to get it now. Garbuglio left out to dry. Is he going to be able to juke back in the spawn? No, he's not. But they're going to get Nursey with this Habib crits anyways, and they're going to clean up a couple more players. There goes Happy Cool. The rest of Ascent running for the hills. Marmalu's still trying to jump in, get anything he can, and here comes the re-aggression for the Ascent players. They don't have heals. Yite's on very little HP. Each 1 rocket will die. Zayler putting in all he's got, but it's not enough. Running back, and that is going to be it. All 3 players left on Ascent are out of here. It's just AIM still maybe sticking around on the second point, but meeting back up with Nursey, and it's a bomb in from Yomps gets the medic kill. Why does Nursey stay in for so long? This is a disaster. Ascent are just throwing this away. froyotech are going to be able to cap the second point and are in a great position to roll this all the way back coast to coast to Ascent's last.
Yeah, the mistake there was AIM was, I don't know what it was. Maybe they just thought the numbers were a little bit more skewed in their favor. Because AIM was going in, Nursey was trying to be a part of it as well. And overall, that just doesn't work out when you know, you're at risk of being killed and not having an escape plan.
Marmaloo on very little HP as well. He's got an escape plan though. He'll be able to survive. Zayler dying is not what you want. Habib gets him with the stickies, and I think that was the first attempt of that crits. They did get him, and they're going to get Yite as well as soon as that crits fades. Lost Banning for it, who got the damage down onto Yite to begin with, but regardless, it was a crits in, and it wasn't too bad. They forced all of Ascent out, and Uber charges are close enough that it's not going to be a great big advantage for Ascent to be able to be comfortable pushing off of last, unless they're miscounting, think it's a little bit higher or however it goes. But you know, if they push it to last, it'll be a pretty scrappy fight. froyotech can maybe secure in onto last, so it's not a bad position for the froyotech guys. And yeah, they've completely caught up on this Uber charge race, so obviously theirs is a crits, but it's a lot better to be pushing last with the crits than it is to be defending last.
Sage words from Cornpop. But the Uber comes out immediately. Ascent finally recognizing what to do when you're an Uber versus a crits. Pop into them. Go into them right away. We do see good aggression onto Habib, but the rest of the players that are falling are not to the Kritzkrieg at all. Finally, a crit shotgun, aka the scattergun, takes down Happy Cool, but with this being froyotech's lead, they own second, they're pushing last with only 2 players up. This last is all but theirs. 4-2 might be the scoreline here.
Yep, that's
There you go. Hey,
yep,
welcome back.
4-2. Sorry. But yes, 4-2, as you mentioned, froyotech 1 round away from the grand finals, Row. They're almost there. It's a place they've been many times before. Ascent needs to pull it back if they don't want to have to go down to lower brackets to fight against New Godflow. Blaze starting with an early bomb. Damage onto Zayler, but he gets an arrow hailed back up. Yomps doesn't care though, gets the frag regardless. Blaze died for it. Yomps going to die as well, putting numbers back in favor of Ascent. And they're going to use that to get control of this point. Doesn't matter if they lose their Demo Man. froyotech had to give up too much to gain that advantage, and now they're running back to the second point.
We're here, froyotech setting up a little bit of a defense. They got to be playing a little bit careful. They're still in the lead, 4-2. But when you're running Kritzkrieg on defense, you know, it's just like Cornpop said, you don't want to be defending with crits. But it can work out. You know, one of the classic, I guess you can call it the open or the pub strats is, you know, let them get onto the point and then crits into them and kill 5 people with 1 sticky. Times have changed. You know, we're at the higher tiers. These plays don't work. But you never know what would work. They worked earlier in this exact same map. Earlier today, just now. They used the Uber, they pushed in, and then the crits came in through the window and got 4 people from Habib alone. So don't call it an open strat if it works in invite.
There you go. Ascent now in a position to maybe get into the second point. We'll see what they want to do here. Obviously, there's still quite a bit of time on that clock, so they're not be too worried about that. Marmaloo jumps in onto Blaze, takes that exchange, barely wins it with the help of Yite. Garbuglio now there to try to contest that, but Aim coming around with the flank, and he's getting a lot of damage down onto Banny and Garbuglio, the scout combo. Yomps, meanwhile, bombing onto Zayler, and now he's all alone with Nursey. Barely survives after she pops the recharge off. Her teammates come back for her, and that's going to be great for Shade 100% now. And here comes the crits. Can they get anything with it? They're going to get Happy Cool at point blank range. And there's a nice sticky on an Aim up in the air. And it's going to be Garbuglio with the crits to finish it off. Nursey, the last player, still surviving after that fight. Running out through Saw. She will be able to get back to her teammates before too long. But this is still not a good position for Ascent. With advantage for Shade. And this middle point in their possession. It's looking like they're going to be able to get to the enemy team's last.
So we're slowly bringing things down here. This is looking really good for froyotech. Taking it forward. They do have Kritzkrieg still in hand, not Uber. This push is definitely going to work out for them if they decide to take it as quickly as possible. But from past experience, we're seeing a little bit of a different pace from froyotech. They don't want to take the crits and use it immediately. They're very careful with how they decide when and where. So, as we're getting there, we're just gonna be keeping it on a single view right here. This is the slow part of the match, you know. That we don't need to worry about too much going on in the way of action. But finally, we're seeing a little bit of a peek from froyotech in the lower area. Yomps trying to get some room, but Habib is nowhere to be found. So I don't think this is really there. They're just trying to corral them. They're using their presence alone to move Ascent into certain positions so that when the real crits comes out, not the fake out where we're just coming from lower, they're going to take the real crits with the beam and get the frags they desire.
Yeah, you know, I mean, froyotech, they hold this middle point, and they're really in no urgency to push. They have the point advantage. Obviously, if they get one more, it'll be over, and they can securely have that win. So there's that incentive for them, but they don't need to risk. They don't need to do anything risky, and especially losing Garbuglio there, probably not where they wanted to lose it. They're not likely going to be pushing anytime soon unless they can find something great. AIM is using this to get a little bit aggressive, but it will be happy cool to go down in Saw, and Marmalou is hiding in the enemy team's kitchen. A couple of Ascent players going to be caught out, though, and it looks like they just want to go. Yomp's got that force out of Nursey, and Shade is so far back with the entire rest of the team. This is not good at all. The only hope is Marmalou in kitchen. He's coming out now.
Yes, good timing, good damage.
Oh.
No, he instantly gets mulched by Habib, who's just ready to go. He's half cocked all the time, and that's the secret to being a good demo man when you get ganked by some soldiers walking in through kitchen. Now the Kritzkrieg is ready. First shot comes around. Ooh! 2-1. Yite and Happy Cool. Gonna try and throw some extra around the bend. Aim gets taken down. This is looking really good for froyotech to close this one out. Can Ascent pull off a miracle defense? They have Zayler and Marmalou in tow. They're jumping in over to the left side, trying to cut off this shutter. But the damage is too strong, and the cat time there, 5-2. froyotech with a very methodical Kritzkrieg full time. That's yikes.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're hungry for dessert because froyotech have booked their ticket to the grand finals, and they will be awaiting their future opponent. Ascent go down to the lower bracket finals where they will face New Godflow. Winner of that goes to meet froyotech in the grand finals, and loser is out with third place. We'll get logs really quick before we head out here because I'm sure everybody is tired and excited to get to bed. Ro, do you have it up yet?
Yes, 15k damage coming out from Habib. Definitely makes sense since he's also top fragging at still kept the 3-1. We have a 48 and 15 kill death ratio from Habib, breaking 350 DPM. Probably his best game in recent memory. Just really strong performance, but that's what happens when you have full-time Kritzkrieg. Shade at 38 assists. Looking at frags, Banny with 36, Happy Cool with 35, Yite with 32, and the rest are somewhere floating in the 20 range. Not too much excitement in that department. Overall, though, the damage, we're looking at 350 for Habib, DPM, of course, 280 for Zayler, 262 for Banny, and 229 for Marmalou. The only players to break 10k, and that, I think, will do it. No drops, ton of crits, and still a surprising amount of Ubers, following up from Nursey at 22 Ubers, 1 drop, and Shades 26, mostly crits. So that's the stats breakdown. We can go ahead and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your patience through all the server issues. Big shout out to Try for getting things set up with the GoTV setup. I think with that said, Cornpop, we're all done here.
Yes, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. The lower bracket finals should be happening later this week.